Do traditional Catholics judge people? This is a very important question that I wanted to address. I don't have super a lot of time, so I'm going to try to make this quick. But uh, this is a big problem because oftentimes in discussions when traditional Catholics will be critical of some modern faith practices in the Catholic Church, people will get offended, right? Um, you know, if you are perceived to be judging somebody, that's instantly an end of discussion situation, right? Um, so first of all, it is certainly wrong to judge people's souls, right? There's a fundamental misunderstanding of what judgment actually means, right? If you judge someone, that means that you're saying that person is screwed, that person is going to hell, right? We have no authority to say anything like that. We should never say anything like that. We should always hope that people can do everything they can to get to heaven, right? Um, we're not trying to condemn anybody if we critique some of the things that the overall population does. So in that case, what's the difference? What are we actually doing when we critique some of these modern innovations in the church? I would argue that it is in a way out of an interest for the overall well-being of the church. Um, obviously people are not perfect, so anytime you try to do something good, it's especially in this kind of thing, a natural consequence might be an attitude of pride, and this is a problem. When we critique these kinds of things, there is a possibility of pride, but in fact, the attempt is genuine, and I think for the most part, the discussions can be had from a sincere perspective. If I tell someone, I think it's better to receive communion on the tongue than on the hand, I'm not saying if you take it on the hand, you're the worst, or you're somehow like worse than me or something, like by no means, right? Like, the whole point of being Catholic is to remember, like, yeah, I'm a sinner and I need Christ a lot. So there's no attempt to judge anyone and say that they're worse than me or anything. We might be saying, okay, we have a problem with catechesis. We have a problem with some of the administration of the church, right? Like, things are not the best that they could be. What can we do to make things better, right? We have a decline in church attendance. We have a decline in belief in the Eucharist. In the meantime, traditional parishes are growing, right? Many young families are attending them, having lots of kids. It's just natural that these are things that are going to grow. These are things that draw people and inspire people to be faithful Catholics. And a lot of the time you want to just kind of share those experiences with people, right? Like these traditions of the church have been almost lost for so long, right? We want people to be able to experience them. And if modern Catholic practices are working for people and are inspiring them to grow in holiness, then that's great, but perhaps overall, perhaps for the general population, it's maybe better to stick with the way that things were done for for hundreds of years, right? For the 2,000-year history of the church, that following the natural sort of development of these things. So when we are critiquing things, we are not judging people, okay? I can critique practices while still respecting the actual person's soul, right? That's something very important that we need to understand if we're going to have any discussions about anything, okay? So hopefully this video was helpful in understanding the difference between judging and critiquing, and why we can critique and still do so from I guess the other side of that would be I would urge people to critique from a place of humility. It's certainly something I need to work on myself. Um, and, you know, when it comes down to things, nobody's perfect. But if we want the church to be better, which is always going to be possible because the church is made of humans which who sin, we should be able to have these discussions, you know, figure out what's better, why is something better, you know, not get offended, be humble from both sides, and hopefully together we can improve the church and strive for holiness. So thank you for watching. God bless.